Good morning. Welcome to Walking Through Glass, the podcast with your host, Dr. Dina C. Brown. Good morning. It is Friday, or what I have been known to call it is Fearless Friday. So your special episode of your daily dose of vitamin Dr. D is really, again, we're still talking about truth this week, but it's that add little extra something of that, how do we deal with some of the fear of dealing with our truth? Because again, it is Fearless Friday. So today I woke up this morning and I felt much better than I'd been in a long time. I actually slept in, and to be honest with you, I'm now a little bit late for where I needed to go, but I needed to sleep a little bit later because I needed that extra dose of oomph today. Yesterday was a very draining day for me, and I just had to, again, go back and put myself on partial timeout and spend some time, again, getting back to who I know I'm called to be instead of what the situation is triggering me to be. So that being said, I was sitting wondering, I told you, periodically, at least once a week, I ask myself, what is going on with you? How are you doing? And when I ask that, I ask as if I am a stranger asking myself that question and expecting an authentic and a truthful answer. And so as I sat yesterday and I was doing some work yesterday evening, I just realized that I'm just so frustrated right now. And earlier in the day, again, this is the power of responding instead of reacting. The situation I've been dealing with since the early part of the week, meaning, again, I'm truly in a season where I will put my own mask on first, and I'm going to look out for me in the concept of if I had to choose between me or you, I'm going to choose me. And that took a long time for me to get to that point, because before I would exhaust myself to the point of collapse trying to get something done for somebody else, but I didn't get anything done, and I didn't go that hard in the paint for myself. So I've been consciously attacking that aspect of my personality, and I love to say that I am in a better place. I am not completely where I want to be, but I will tell you that the journey, I am close, and I do things a little bit differently now. So that being said, as I was processing through yesterday, and again, I get a phone call. Now, I don't use names because I'm afraid of those people, but out of respect for people's privacy, because really these sharing points is not about them. It's really about me. So please understand that the fact that I don't use specific names and people and names of organizations is not to hide anything. It's really just to really keep the focus on, it's really about my journey. And that's what we have to do as people, is deal with our journey and not necessarily have to throw people in it to kind of validate or quantify what we do or who we are. So I got a phone call, again, dealing with the same situation of someone that wants me to stop, drop, and act because they are in a frenetic mode. And one of the most challenging things that I do is that, well, not that I do, so just because I've gotten to a better place, but what I used to do is that when people were frenetic and in a hurry and going all crazy, then it put me in that space. And I was trying to hurry up and do things and doing things in a rush, and it doesn't really have my usual standard of excellence. And then I'm frustrated because it's not the quality of work that I would expect of myself. And then again, I was so afraid that they're going to get upset. And then after the fact that I'm afraid, oh my God, the quality's not what I want it to be, And so I'm like going through all of those particular places, and those processes. Well, I made a commitment that I am not going to buy into people's frenetic energy. I am not afraid of whether they're going to get mad or whatever else, because that's their monkey and they're going to have to carry it. And so now I am more fearful of not owning my truth and not standing in my space, because I am now cultivating a relationship and I'm now training people how to interact with me. And I know that that is not how I want to be interacted with. And that is not how I want people to approach me or engage with me on a day-to-day basis, month-to-month basis, week-to-week basis, etc. And so, again, my level of frustration, and it's not to do with just this incident, it's a couple of different things. And when I know that I have a heightened sense of irritation, I tend to quiet myself intentionally. And some people kind of go, oh, is she okay? What's going on? No, I quiet myself intentionally because, again, I know my ability to respond the way that I know I want to respond to maintain a relationship is questionable. Okay? This is real. It's questionable. So when I don't say anything or withdraw or I tell people, no, I'm not going to talk to you right now, it has nothing to do with I'm mad at you. Oh, no, I'm getting myself in check. I'm getting myself in check. And when you take that time to just tell people that right now, I can't have a conversation. It's important. So rolling back to the situation that's been going on now throughout the week in regards to this event and things being done at the last minute, and I designate certain amounts of time to work on things. I do work. I have an investor job. I have a business. I'm a mom. I'm working with entrepreneurs. I got a lot going on, finishing up books and all of these other things that are part and parcel to my greater right now. But yet part of my greater right now also deals with giving with others and being philanthropic. So I don't lament the fact that I support people in that role. However, what I've learned is that I am not going to support people at the expense of not supporting myself. And I'm not going to be concerned with saying something. So yesterday, after staying up when I got home late the night before, sending off some information, trying to rectify the issue, because what I did is I made a mistake based on some information that I had and the way I processed the information and didn't look at all the other information. I made a mistake with what I thought the individual wanted. But again, this is part that being in a hurry, being tired and trying to just get through things. But again, it was still my mistake. I own that. I was clear in saying, oh yeah, my bad, my problem. I apologize. Yep, I did that. Sorry, I was wrong. My mistake. Oops. Okay, so in dealing with my oops, right, I tried to rectify it and remediate it and do anything, mitigate it actually is the word I'm looking for, to mitigate the best that I could. So I get a call yesterday from another member of the board. And I'm like, I'm busy, like the day, like I said, I got a lot of projects and a couple things in the fire going on. And so they reached out to me and they started the conversation with, this person called me, they are all in a panic, they are all frenzied out in regards to the event. They want to be great and they're worried because they hadn't got all these information and these things that you said you're going to give them and da da da, and they're just going on. I said, stop. I said, number one, I don't have time for this. I said, here's what I did last night. I sent A, B, C, and D last night, which is what I said that I was, what I sent. I did A, B, C last night, which is what I said I was going to do. I don't know what you are talking about. Well, I don't know because they're just feeling in this. I said, again, does it make sense? Now, does it make sense for someone to ask you to send them something that they sent you? And that's what you worked from. So I said, again, but I can tell that my ability to engage in a manner in which I want to engage with people was not there. It was, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated, and right now I'm like, you're wasting my freaking time. You're wasting my time with this. I don't have a lot of time. And so again, I can see this little heightened kind of inside of me. Well, they can just like, well, I don't know what it is, and I'm just trying to make sure, and they really want, well, shoot, hell, we all want this to be well. I'm not putting my time, energy, and efforts into this for it not to go well. And what I realize is right now, it wasn't so much about the call. I am so pissed at people thinking that you're working on a project with them and they think that they're the only one that cares. Well, hell, I'm at the point, if you're the only one that cares, well, damn, do it by your damn self. Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up. But again, that's how I was feeling at that moment. That's the energy that was flowing through me at that moment, which was high time for me to know that I needed to shut it down because I was ready to go 0 to 360. So, again, reining it back in, this has taken a lot of training, a lot of years of being a mom, being Xavier's mom, to learn to say, okay, Dina, bring it down. And I said, listen, that doesn't make sense to me. I said, I don't really know what you're asking for. I said, but let me send you what I have, but also know if you really want this stuff, here's where it can be found, which again, this is the information I got from you. Okay. And I said, let me go on about my day, my business. Let me go meditate for a few minutes, get my energy levels down, do some breathing exercises. Well, then shortly thereafter, I get an email. I just want to recap our conversation, and this is what we've agreed. This is what I understood that you were going to do, that you were going to send by the end of the day, X, Y, and Z to this person, and that you were going to make phone contact with them by the end of the day, sometime today, I said, actually, sent a reply back. I said, yes, I'll send XYZ. You're right about that. But I will not be calling anybody. I said, I am not in a conversational mood. I said, my filter is very low right now and my frustration is very high. And so I'm not talking to anybody. I said, I got a lot going on. I said, and I am still showing up to support the best way possible to get what you need to get done. Now, in that same vein, okay, I said, here's what still needs to be done. Here's what I've scheduled and how I've scheduled it out to be done. And I said, please understand that when I put myself into a position and a situation and a support role, I do the best that I can with what I have and the tools that I have in that given time period. However, if what I do is not sufficient for you, then you are more than welcome to accept my resignation at this point in time. Yes. Because even though you play a volunteer role and you work with nonprofits or you sit on boards, for me, I still take those as actual roles because you commit. And so that's why I limit those commitments, because especially when you're dealing with new ones and the ones that are getting started, they have a lot of infrastructure that need to be put together. And then it takes a lot of reliance on individuals to do a lot of those things. So I know that within the roles that we play, that a lot of areas, especially when it comes to technical communication and organizational and operations type stuff, it goes back and it falls to me. That's a strength of mine. Okay. I would even honestly say that's part of a passion of mine. But what I decided that is I'm not going to be afraid to tell people that, you know what? I am not going to do exactly what you want me to do. But what I will do is what I can do to support you. And that takes a lot of courage to say no. But the truth of the matter is, because this is all about truth this week, and this is Fearless Friday, is that we have to get more comfortable. It's not just getting comfortable being uncomfortable. It's getting comfortable saying no. Comfortable saying no. So you know what? I want you to do something. I want you to practice saying no at least 3 times before the weekend is up to things that you honestly, truly do not want to do. Now, I am not telling you to cut off your nose to spite your face and say no to some things that you really want. I'm saying say no to the things that you don't want. The things that no longer serve you. The things that, in all honesty, as soon as you do it, you begin to regret it. And that part, when you begin to do that, that's when you can honestly, truly begin to say that you own your power and you walk in your truth, because your truth shows up every single day. But many times we mask it behind our fear. So I challenge you on this Fearless Friday to be more bold, more confident, more truthful with yourself. And you should be afraid of disappointing you before you're afraid of disappointing somebody else. Yeah, I said it. I'm going to say it again before I sign off. You should be afraid of disappointing you more so than disappointing somebody else. And when you begin to make those conscious decisions to do that, watch how your life changes. Watch how your purpose walk gets stronger. Watch how you actually begin to find your happy place more often than not. And if you're having trouble, if it is still so difficult for you to say no and to love yourself on purpose with purpose, call me, inbox me, DM. Let's get you in a program, okay, about building your confidence, okay? But better yet, I guarantee you that some of your responses and your actions and your reflective actions is built on some belief systems that have been planted and rooted in your subconscious. And so that's why we're going to spend some time really uncovering and delving in. We're going to do a study on I call it As a Woman Leadeth, based on James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh. We're going to do a study on that to work and work out those belief systems. I'm going to be putting that information in the notes so you can jump in to be able to do that. So, understand this today. Until you love you, until you say yes to you, until you start really spending time just really giving you all you got, then it's very difficult for other people to do the same thing. It's very difficult. So I want you to start loving on you more often. I want you to start giving to you today. I want you to start saying yes to the things that you truly love and want to do. Watch how much your time frees up when you start saying yes to you, and how much you can honestly then begin to support other people because you've been saying yes to you. And more than anything else, I want you to begin to share this podcast and invite people to join us on these daily doses of vitamin Dr. D, so that we all have a little bit more sunshine in your life. This is about our journey, our collective journey. I know, I'm almost 100% confident that the issues and things that I'm struggling with and sharing with you day to day, that there's somebody out there that's dealing with the same thing, and they're listening and go, oh yeah, girl, yeah, that's me. And so if you're doing that, guaranteed that if you share with someone else, they're going to also find some opportunities to resonate. Walking Through Glass, the podcast, is available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Music Play, Apple Podcast, and coming soon to iHeartRadio. I am putting that in the wind because I've submitted my information a couple of times, and so I'm going to put that out there in the atmosphere. You pray that with me. And today, don't be afraid to love yourself on purpose and live your very best life today. Well, thank you for listening, and I truly appreciate you, and I look forward to catching up with you on Monday for next week's Daily Dose of Dr. Vitamin D. And I also encourage you to tune in and pop in on Sunday as I drop another episode of A Conscious Conversation with my friend Miriam Toro. So, have a great day. Looking forward to continuing our journey together. Bye-bye. One moment.